Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over my picks for the top 10 best off-road vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, not all of these vehicles are necessarily going to be in the off-road category, but they're all going to be very good at off-roading, whether that is in races or whether that is in free mode. Anyways, I picked 10 vehicles. I think these are pretty good. You guys should definitely check them out. If you enjoyed the video, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Let's go for 5,000 likes on this video. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. I'm going for 300k. Let's go ahead and get started with number 10. At number 10, we have the Maxwell Vagrant, coming in at $1,660,500 if you have the trade price. Now, if you don't, it's going to cost you $2,214,000, which I think is a relatively reasonable price. The Vagrant is technically one of the best vehicles in the game when it comes to off-road racing. However, in terms of actual off-roading ability, while it is very fun, it isn't super great. It's rear-wheel drive, meaning that climbing steep inclines is going to be quite a challenge, and it also has extremely low ground clearance. So going through water or even over the top of rocks is going to be pretty challenging, and hell, even some dirt roads are actually going to be quite challenging for this vehicle. Overall, it's an awesome vehicle for going on dirt tracks that are relatively flat and kind of graded, but beyond that, it is a little on the less useful side when it comes to much else when it comes to off-roading in GTA Online. It does have some cool customization, and it is based off the Aerial Nomad, which I think is a pretty cool vehicle, but in GTA it just doesn't really translate super well to all of the elements of off-roading. At number 9, we have the Bravado Dorado Cruiser, coming in at $3,753,750 if you have the trade price. If not, $5,005,000. Now, the Bravado Dorado Cruiser is easily the best police car when it comes to off-roading as far as police cars go in GTA 5. So I figured that I would add it into the list in case anyone was interested in having a police car that is capable off-road. However, the regular Bravado Dorado is also just as good for off-roading, if not maybe even a little bit better. So if you do want a Dorado because you like the look of the regular vehicle itself, and you want it for less than the $3.7 to $5 million cop car, the regular Dorado is an option for you, and it has more in the way of customization. It just does not have the police stuff. It has the best ground clearance of all the police cars though, and the regular Dorado is the same way. It also has pretty good acceleration on dirt, it does seem like, and the suspension is quite soft, so it does soak up the bumps relatively well. Overall, I would definitely pick up the Dorado, whichever variant you like more, or whichever one suits your price range a little bit better. Either of them are really good vehicles though, and I would recommend either of them, whichever one you can afford and whichever one you like the best. Number 8, we have the Karen Everon, coming in at $1,106,250 if you have the trade price to $1,475,000. This thing is found within the luxury category on Southern San Andreas Super Autos. I just thought I'd mention that because if you go to check the off-road category, you won't find this. For some reason, it's considered a luxury vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online. Go figure. The Karen Everon is a huge vehicle, and it is pretty good when it comes to driving off the beaten path. It has massive wheels, and on top of having high suspension to begin with, it results in some awesome ground clearance, which is really good for rock crawling and just general off-roading. Now, the Everon does have some issues when the suspension is raised all the way up and not lowered at all. With rolling over, especially when you're moving really quickly and turning, but other than that, the vehicle is quite good, and the customization for the Everon is quite cool too. There's a lot of stuff you can do to it, and overall I think it is a really good looking truck. Definitely one that I would recommend if you guys are interested in rock crawling in particular. The actual performance overall isn't that awesome, especially for the money, but when it comes to like rock crawling and stuff like that, river crossings, everything, it's pretty damn good. You can't really beat the Karen Everon when it comes to that sort of stuff. At number 7, we have the Declassy Walton L35, coming in at $1,670,000. The Walton L35 is a pretty awesome truck in GTA. It's really good off-road, mainly due to the fact that it has such high ground clearance and really big wheels, and of course it is 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive when it comes to GTA Online. It's got pretty decent performance overall. Top speed isn't that great, it's around 105 miles per hour, which is quite slow, so not that awesome. The performance though, other than that, as far as acceleration goes and handling, is pretty good. but it's not really comparable to some of the top off-road class vehicles in GTA Online, but it's still good. It also has some pretty nice customization and looks generally. I think it is a little overpriced for what you're getting though, to be completely honest, so make sure to watch to the end of the video before you make any big purchases like the Walton L35 for example. And number 6 we have the MADISON Monstrosity coming in at $1,485,000. The Monstrosity is an awesome little two-door off-roader in GTA Online, and it also has Imani tech with the missile lock-on jammer or remote control device, as well as it does have an HSW upgrade for those of you who have HSW on your platform that you play on. The HSW upgrade means it can climb like crazy while also going extremely fast on the regular roads. The handling on this thing is also excellent, making it a fantastic vehicle overall. The only thing that it really is going to struggle with is that ground clearance. The ground clearance on the Monstrosity is not that great. However, it's not really designed to be a rock crawler. I would say it's definitely more so meant to be a rally car of sorts, where it's, you know, on a dirt path. The dirt path can be relatively rough, but it's not super suited when it comes to rock crawling and stuff like that. It's kind of, you know, capable of doing it, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it if that is what you were trying to do. At number 5, we have the brand new classy Yosemite 1500 coming in at a relatively reasonable $1,205,000. This thing is really good off-road, and the hill climbing ability of this truck is insane. It's got a lot of power, and it seems to be able to put down the power really well. The performance seems great, and for $1,205,000 in 2024 in GTA Online, I feel like they almost underpriced this, and I hate to say that because they're probably going to release a new vehicle and double it. So, but I felt like for the money, this thing was insane. The customization was pretty cool. It was a little underwhelming. I wish there was a few more things we could have done, but regardless, it is a really cool vehicle, and it's definitely one that I would recommend picking up, especially at that price point. I just don't think you can go wrong with the Yosemite 1500. It's a really, really awesome vehicle, truly. And I definitely think it's worth owning, that's for sure. And number 4, we have the Vapid Cara 4x4 coming in at $875,000. The Cara 4x4 is an awesome truck, and it's based almost entirely off the Ford F-150 Raptor or the regular F-150 in real life. It has some pretty good customization, not as much as I would have liked to have seen on this truck, but it's still, you know, decent. It does also have pretty excellent ground clearance, as well as good performance to back up the, you know, relatively aggressive looks of the truck. The only thing that I really don't love about the Cara is how skinny the truck is. It's kind of really skinny looking and quite long. It just looks a little weird. I wish it was a little bit wider stanced. As far as the cab itself goes, I think that the fenders look really good and everything like that. I think the wheels have some nice poke to them, but I just think that the cabin should have been just a little bit wider. Still good acceleration, good handling, good performance overall. You can't really go wrong with the Cara 4x4. It's an awesome truck. Number 3, we got the Canis Camacho coming in at $345,000. And for the money, there is not a better off-road class vehicle in GTA Online that money can buy. The Canis Camacho is absolutely fantastic off-road or on-road. Whether you're in a race or in free mode, this vehicle will get you where you need to go, and it will get you there in a hurry while also being extremely reliable and fun to drive. It has a pretty awesome top speed as far as off-roaders go, great acceleration, and good enough ground clearance with a boatload of customization options. This is definitely a must-own for anyone even remotely interested in off-roading in GTA Online. Even if you don't plan on off-roading, I still think the Camacho is such a deal for the money that you should own one, regardless of if you never leave the city of Los Santos. To be honest, I think it's that good of a vehicle. $345,000, you simply cannot go wrong with the Camacho. Number 2, we have the Declassy Draugr coming in at $1,402,500 to $1,870,000. The Draugr is regarded as the best off-road class vehicle for off-road class racing in GTA Online, and this also translates extremely well to free mode. This thing is insanely good off-road in free mode and on-road for that matter. It climbs hills with little to no resistance. It feels awesome. It has great handling and pretty good ground clearance too. It basically just feels like a big go-kart when you're driving it around, and like the acceleration's awesome. Top speed is pretty good too. The handling is fantastic. It's got a wide base, so it's not really very likely to roll over, and it doesn't seem like it weighs very much either because, I mean, let's be honest, there's not much to the Draugr. It's a lot of tubing, and not a lot of much else. The Draugr is an awesome vehicle though, and it is definitely one that I would recommend owning 100%. You cannot go wrong with a Draugr, that's for sure. At number 1 though, we have the Canis Terminus, coming in at $1,877,500. This is one of the very best off-road class vehicles in the game. The Terminus has a lot of great features beyond its off-road capabilities, and one of those is the fact that it has Imani tech, including the armor plating, so it's really good to have in free mode. It's also all-wheel drive, of course, so you do get a really good launch with this thing, as well as good traction when you're climbing, and the acceleration is also pretty fantastic. It has relatively big wheels. They're not the biggest wheels ever, not as big as the Evron, but they are still quite big, so you're going to get a lot of ground clearance out of that. And as far as off-roading goes, it's a relatively impressive vehicle overall. It has, really good acceleration. The handling is awesome. It sticks to the ground like glue, while also being, a relatively capable rock crawler. You can go through water with this thing pretty easily too. And yeah, I'd say the ground clearance is probably the biggest issue it has, and it's not even really an issue. So it kind of goes to show just how good of a vehicle the Canis Terminus is, when the ground clearance, which isn't even an issue, is the biggest issue. It's a really, really good vehicle. The armor plating that you can put on it too is super helpful. I think it's great looking. I'm not even a fan of Jeeps in real life, but I think that this thing is so good in GTA that you can't really go wrong with it, even if you don't like Jeeps in real life. So definitely a cool one, definitely a good one to pick up. Useful, overall just a good vehicle to have for sure. Whether it's, for actually off-roading or for the Imani tech that it has and the protection that it offers for free mode, it's a really good vehicle, and it is definitely one that I do 100% endorse and recommend. So there you have it, guys. Those are my picks for the top 10 best off-road vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know what you thought of my list in the comment section down below. Do you think that I missed any vehicles? And if I missed them, let me know what they are. Comment a 7 if you made it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. As I said at the start of the video, I'm going for 300,000 this year, and if you want to be a part of it, I would appreciate it a lot, as long as you enjoy my content. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.